What do we have here? Well, I said I'd show you some lighting ideas. So this is the question, and this is the most subtle lighting. I have simply a free giveaway Harbor Freight flashlight in my own homemade holder. I'll show you how I did that by taking the frame out of the top of the shade. It was an accidental find. I'll show you in a little bit. So I have this on top is one of these little battery operated star fields, and so you can add things around Halloween, especially after the clearance. You can get all sorts of cool strobe lights. So, and this one is variable. So, you know, those sorts of options there. Well, the question couldn't handle the pressure. And she fell over. Yeah. It's one of those things I've been avoiding, getting a base or making a base, pinning her feet, because this is the hardest single figure I've ever had to pose. And it seems like no matter what I do, she won't stay. But anyway, the slightest little vibration will cause it. So here I'm using a pool. Let me turn some light on here. So the idea is to have as many lights as possible to make your variables, and the other thing is all the different angles. So let me turn the strobe off for someone who has a seizure like me. So look how simple and yet effective this one is with just this single light with the shadow. And then I can add some automotive light, maybe. Yeah, this worked fine. Of course, before, of course, when you want to do it, now the switch is short again. Oh, that's so funny. I had this on for like a half an hour and turned it off to, yeah. Life's hard. Oh, I know why. I turned the main lighting on. So I started this in the dark. I started working in here at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the other thing. Even in a fairly dark place, everything gets affected. Yeah, I originally was going to just clean up this area here, and so I brought the card table out. This is my light box, so it has dual fluorescence and then the holes. I'll show you that someday. There's a mini tripod. I brought my tripod. So I'm basically moving all the stuff from the house out here for photography. So now I should have some. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So there you have the automotive lights hooked up to a 12-volt converter. My oldest daughter's husband, who will inherit the AMX one day, because she's my firstborn. So here's a infrared type of deal. So that would be cool. So this is this thing, and you can actually take the top off, and you could add a filter to it too. I mean, the whole point is variables, angles, multiple angles. See, I'll just give you the composition of this. Now, I've never had any photography lessons. This is all just hit and miss, man. And I don't claim to even be a very good amateur, but my idea was I wanted some little reddish effects on the cloud. I'm going to put you up against the wall. How do you like that? And some kind of a weird effect for the question thing, because this is that series where 52 issues. It's a long drawn out thing. I think it was with Pandora. I can't even remember. But anyway, so show you some other things. Have everything so you can turn it off. So here's double oil shades, and I took the holder that was in here. Let me turn this on. So this is the holder that was in there, and I just took my channel locks and it busted the, I don't know if it was welded on or just because of the glue, but it came off. And then I realized, you know, this thing has all these variables, and so once again I need two hands for this. But basically, by moving these legs, you can have a multiple variable angle for this thing. And you go, well, how come it doesn't fall over? Well, if I had two hands, I'd show you. You know, really, three hands would even be better. So, here, let me show you. Come on. Once again. And so I have the foam board, so if you want to get it on a certain thing, you just stick it in the foam board. Then you put the light in there. See? And then as you move these in different ways, again, I can't do it one-handed, but trust me, it changed the angles, and it's just an accidental discovery based on wanting to remove this. So, anyway, yeah, everything will come crashing now. But the other thing is over here, I got a homemade light box, which is actually some kind of file thing. Inside I have another light, and then these clear file things I got at Goodwill. You can use these to change the light. You just add more to filter it out. So it's just experimenting, basically. I have 2 6 strips here, and I can add more background by turning on the fluorescent behind me. So I add a little more light there. And I have this fluorescent up here. And this one, if I really want to, like if you're doing detail photography, macro, and you want really crisp detail, you get these desk slides are awesome. Because this one pivots here and here. So you got the double pivot, and you don't have to burn yourself because it has a little arm. So, there. So I don't have time today to take a bunch of still photography of this, but I plan on doing it. So this also, there's my tripods, and this one's bright. That's a movie camera. You can plug into a 12 volt. I could switch that also over to the adapter. And I showed you that light fixture last time. You can get a little rose color with that. And so these are some sheets. This is a black one, obviously, and this one's kind of like Star Field. So depending on how you lit that. Another thing I told somebody, if you take black foam board and get that black sparkle stuff sparkle spray, spatter, I don't know what they call it, but it looks like sparkles. Anyway, you spray that lightly, and it looks like stars when you light it. And then you can do a little dull coat to tone it down, or to highlight certain areas. Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling. So I thought you'd get a kick out of my light. Oh, this one up here, I didn't show you this one. This was a broken one that I fixed with Gorilla Tape. I really should get Gorilla Tape to sponsor me, because, man, I've used Gorilla Tape for so much in this redo here. So here you can see how bright that is. So the thing on the top here, these pieces of acrylic, I just taped them. Anytime you use Gorilla Tape, fold over an edge so you can pull it off, because it's really sticky. And so I can move this if I want something here to go down and hit her like that, for example, like that. So, yeah. One thing I wouldn't recommend you using is these real hot, and I mean H-O-T, burn yourself lights. Although with duct tape, I garbage picked this stand. It had a broken light on it. I took that broken light off, and so check this out. Talk about bright. I gotta find which plug here. And you get up at 3 o'clock. Oh! So look, I made that work light. And the way I got it is so there's two. So you can just use one. And this also acts as a heat lamp too, because man, the amount of heat that this thing produces. I remember when I got my 55 Chevy for nothing from the bus at the gas station. It was total rust bucket. I had to Bondo the top of the fenders, because the top of the fenders on my 55, this area right here, it was completely gone. It was about almost a foot was gone. I had to build that all up. Of course, they're rounded, and it was in December in Chicago, so I had a couple of these spotlights as heat lamps, so the Bondo would set. Yeah, the poor car, when it rained, it had rust tears coming down from the headlights. Oh, it was such a sad little girl. Anyway, yeah, that was about it. So, lighting, an accidental discovery of the doohickey that was inside. So it was like this. I'm trying to picture it for you. It was like this down in there, and I just took my channel locks and bent it till it popped at the rivets. And then I noticed, look at how variable that thing is. And you could use it all different angles, and just once you got your angle, just whatever the one that's down, you could just stick it in there. So that's an accidental, awesome find. And it didn't cost me anything, because I garbage picked that. Someone dumped it, and I got this free light, LED light from Harbor Freight. So, for the lighting experiments, which are ongoing, this is skphile saying, go Texas Tech. I'm rooting for Texas Tech, and I'm out. The question